Scary, right? Well, it just so happens that California is facing a huge problem. One of them is these wildfires. But before we can delve deeper, we need to know what a wildfire is. So, what is a wildfire anyway? According to the Oxford Dictionary, a wildfire is a very big fire that spreads quickly and burns natural areas like woods, forests, and grassland. So you might be thinking, then what's the deal with wildfires? And with that, let's move on to the next part, the problem.
So why is there all this panic over wildfires? It's natural for California to have wildfires during fire season, but lately the number of wildfires have been increasing rapidly over the past 20 years. This is way past the normal rate. For example, in 2018, California experienced 8,527 wildfires, making 2018's fire season one of the deadliest and most destructive ever to have occurred. In total, these 2018 wildfires burned over 1,500,000 acres in the state. Lots of research supports this idea. But in order to understand wildfires, we need to understand the causes of wildfires. According to research conducted by the California Department of Forestry and Fire Protection, a large portion of wildfires are caused by human activities and power line damage. Some wildfires can also form by natural causes such as drought or extreme heat. One example of this is the Camp Fire, which started due to power line issues, with the power lines being owned by PG&E or Pacific Gas and Electric. It also just so happens just to be a 2018 fire. Yeah, the company's been having a lot of problems with wildfires. According to articles from websites like news.gov and wildfiretoday.com, the Camp Fire is the deadliest wildfire ever to occur in California history. It took the lives of at least 85 people and cost California $16.65 billion in damages. The fire also burned about 153,336 acres and was successfully put out until over 2 weeks after it started, showing just how powerful and unpredictable the fire was. Wildfires in California are also fueled by dry conditions, with wind helping spread the fires and dry material easily catching fire, and thus allowing other dry material to do so. These dry conditions are caused by drought, a period of time when there is little water. Extreme heat also dries out water through evaporation and organic material. Of course, you may be wondering why you should care. That brings us to part 3 of this video. First off, let's say the obvious. Wildfires burn thousands and thousands of acres and are increasing in number every year. They're terrifying. They also cost California big bucks. And guess where that money comes from? That's right. You guessed it. You! Okay, maybe not you. Your parents. But if this trend continues, someday it will be you paying those taxes to pay the damages of California's raging wildfires. And who wants to pay more money? Not me. There's another added effect of California wildfires. As we covered in the last part, power lines are the main cause when it comes to wildfires. That's why PG&E, when there's a wildfire going around, needs to institute a mandatory blackout in order to keep everyone safe. That's right. They'll turn off all your electronics, and you have to rely on a flashlight or candles in order to see. Now imagine if that happened every single day. It'd be like having no video games. Forever. No more Skype, and no more social media. You might have to learn how to live the old way, the way your ancestors used to. That's probably enough to convince you, but if it's not, here are a few more reasons. California wildfires and causes of wildfires reduce productivity and the amount of crops available in the state. This is a problem for California's economy, especially since so much of it relies on the food we grow. More CO2 in the atmosphere. If you know a thing or two about global warming, you know CO2 is like a blanket that covers the Earth and traps in heat. The more CO2, the more blankets and the hotter the Earth gets. If anything, it's only going to increase the amount of wildfires in California. When there's smoke, there's air pollution. Air pollution causes lung diseases and respiratory illness. This is especially bad for vulnerable people like the elderly or the newborn. Note that air pollution involves the accumulation of toxic chemicals and greenhouse gases like carbon monoxide, methane, ozone, particulate matter, and carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. This allows chemicals and greenhouse gases to be easily distributed around the world and into our bodies. The poorest houses might get burned down during wildfires. The rich and wealthy can probably bounce back right from this hurdle, but not the poor. Poor people cannot easily afford a new house, nor insurance that they can purchase prior to disasters. Now that we know more about the problem and why you should care, how can you and I help stop the increase of wildfire numbers in California? How can we mitigate the effects of wildfire, protect the environment, our neighbors, and California's finances?
At first, the task may be daunting, but luckily there are some solutions that we can all contribute to. Below are some solutions that can help solve California's big wildfire problem. First, there are the solutions that we can encourage our government to work on. Bicycle infrastructure. If we make bike paths more available throughout California, we'll encourage people to ride bicycles instead of polluting cars. Landfill methane capture. Capturing methane means less of it going up to the atmosphere. Methane is a much more harmful gas than CO2 because it can remain in the atmosphere much longer. Animal husbandry. As animals graze the land, they remove the dead bushes and fertilize the soil at the same time, which will cause wildfires to spread more slowly than normal. Farm irrigation efficiency. Efficiency with irrigation should help lower water consumption during drought periods and still support California's agriculture. Methane digesters. Methane digesters are devices which suck in methane from the atmosphere and thus prevent wildfires from spreading faster and getting more powerful. However, these solutions may not be available for you to participate in, so how about some solutions that you can do right at home? Here are some ideas. Reducing your energy consumption, especially during peak hours. Simple things like turning off the lights when you're not in a room or using a fan instead of an AC might be the quickest way to lower your energy bill and consume less energy. Doing this peak hours or times when energy is high in demand. If too much energy is being distributed at one time, it will cause power lines to sag from heat expansion and cause fire by touching the ground. Take shorter showers and don't leave the tap on while brushing your teeth. This can help conserve water during drought periods. Don't take a car if it's not too far. If possible, walk or bike to your destinations. You'll be putting less CO2 blankets around the earth and thus making it less extreme heat periods. Plant a garden. If you support plants, they can absorb more CO2 in the atmosphere, which too much deforestation, soon normal plants will suck in CO2. However, keep in mind that you'll need more water to support this garden unless it is made up of succulents. Take care of your waste responsibly. Take the time to sort out your garbage and decide what is going to the landfill in recycling or in your backyard to be composted. Donate climate funds. There are some organizations like Team Trees that grow a tree for every certain amount of money donated. Support these funds to keep climate change at bay. Now you might be wondering how one small person can make a difference. How can ordinary people like you and I stop climate change in its tracks? The truth is, it'll take a lot of change, but it starts with ordinary people. We can refuse services and products from companies that work with fossil fuels. We can use less energy and take care of our environment, and we can also spread the word by telling our friends and family about what to do. We can march and show our support for Mother Earth, and that alone will inspire so many to make simple changes in their lives that can impact the entire planet. So don't think that it doesn't matter what you do. Your voice and your actions will determine the fate of this earth. Keep in mind that you've learned a lot from this video. It's not just about California either. People all over the world are affected by climate change and are being affected as we speak, and the clock is ticking. We don't have much time left to get our act together and start changing our behavior. We have to move quickly before the sand runs out. Scientists estimate that somewhere in the near future we will be facing towards the world's seventh mass extinction, the extinction of animals. Think Kenya and New Zealand. Think about other countries affected by wildfires like Canada, Spain, and Greece. But most of all, think about yourself. What are you going to do?